Ivar Kroeger, remember the name, he was a Swede born in 1880. He was a clever lad. Even as a boy he was good with numbers. Kreuger's family was in the match business, not very glamorous, but it made them rich. Young Ivar spent time in the factories. He learned the ins and outs of the trade. This experience would shape him. He saw an opportunity. Matches were essential. Everyone needed them. He dreamed of a match empire. Kreuger wasn't just a dreamer. He went to university, studied engineering. This gave him a good foundation. He was ready to take on the world. After university, he traveled. He went to America, the land of opportunity. He worked as a construction worker, then as an engineer. He learned new ways of doing things. America was exciting, but Sweden was calling. He returned home in 1907. He was ready to start his own business. Kreuger returned to Sweden with big plans. He wanted to revolutionize the match industry. He saw that it was fragmented, many small companies. He had a better idea. In 1913, he founded his own match company, AB Kalmar Monsteras Tandsticksfabrik. A long name, but a big ambition. He wanted to make it the biggest match company in the world. Kreuger was a shrewd businessman. He knew how to make deals. He started buying up other match companies. Slowly but surely, his empire grew. Kreuger wasn't afraid to play rough. He wanted a monopoly, control of the entire match market. He used aggressive tactics to get what he wanted. One of his strategies was predatory pricing. He would lower his prices, drive competitors out of business. Once they were gone, he would raise prices again, ruthless. He also bribed government officials. He gave them loans in exchange for exclusive rights to sell matches in their countries. This gave him a huge advantage. Section 5. Feeding the Beast. The Match King's relationship with debt. Kreuger's empire was built on debt. From the very beginning, he understood that to grow his business rapidly, he needed capital, lots of it. But instead of relying solely on his own resources, he turned to borrowing. This was a time when the financial markets were booming and credit was relatively easy to come by. He borrowed huge sums of money to finance his acquisitions. Kreuger was not just buying companies, he was buying influence and power. His strategy was to acquire match factories and other businesses across the globe, creating a near monopoly in the match industry. This required a constant influx of cash, which he obtained through loans and bonds. He promised investors big returns. Kreuger was a master at selling his vision. He convinced investors that his ventures were not only safe, but incredibly lucrative. The promise of high returns attracted a lot of interest, and people were eager to invest in his schemes, and for a while he delivered. The early returns were impressive, and this success only fueled more investment. Kreuger's reputation soared, and he became known as the Match King. His ability to generate profits and pay dividends kept the money flowing in. He used complex financial instruments. Kreuger was not just borrowing money, he was creating sophisticated financial products to attract more investment. These instruments were often difficult to understand, but they promised high returns, which made them very appealing. Things like bonds and debentures. These were not new concepts, but Kreuger used them in innovative ways. He issued bonds that were backed by his company's future earnings, essentially betting on his own success. This was a risky strategy, but it worked for a time. He was a master of financial engineering. Kreuger's ability to manipulate financial instruments and create new ones was unparalleled. He understood the intricacies of the financial markets and used this knowledge to his advantage. His strategies were complex, but they were effective in attracting investment. Some people called him a genius. His innovative approaches and apparent success led many to believe that he was a financial wizard. He was praised in the media and admired by his peers. However, not everyone was convinced. Some saw the risks he was taking and were concerned about the sustainability of his methods. But debt is a dangerous game. The more he borrowed, the more he needed to pay back. This created a cycle where he was constantly seeking new loans to pay off old ones. The financial markets can be fickle, and any downturn could spell disaster for someone as leveraged as Krueger, especially when you're borrowing as much as Kreuger. His debt levels were astronomical, and managing them required constant attention. Any misstep could lead to a loss of confidence among his investors, which would be catastrophic. He was constantly juggling his finances. Kreuger had to be incredibly strategic about how he managed his money. He was always looking for new ways to generate cash flow and keep his creditors at bay. This required a level of financial acumen that few possessed, trying to stay one step ahead of his creditors. It was a high-wire act, and Kreuger was the performer. He had to balance the demands of his investors, the needs of his businesses, and the realities of the financial markets. It was a delicate balance, and one that could easily tip in the wrong direction. Section 6. A world lit by Kreuger, the global reach of the match empire. At its peak, Kreuger's empire was vast. His influence stretched across continents, making him a pivotal figure in the global economy. Factories under his control were not just limited to Europe, but spanned across Asia, Africa, and the Americas. These industrial complexes were marvels of their time, employing thousands of workers and producing millions of matchsticks daily. The sheer scale of his operations was unprecedented, and it was a testament to his vision and ambition. He controlled over 70% of the world's match production. This dominance in the market meant that almost every matchstick used globally had a connection to Kreuger's empire. The production lines were a hive of activity, with workers meticulously ensuring that each matchstick met the high standards set by Kreuger. This level of control over a single commodity was unparalleled and showcased his ability to monopolize an industry. His companies operated in over 40 countries. This extensive network allowed him to influence markets and economies on a global scale. Business meetings were held in major cities around the world, from New York to Tokyo, where Kreuger would negotiate deals and expand his empire further. The map of his business operations looked like a web with connections reaching every corner of the globe. He was known as the Match King. This title was not just a reflection of his dominance in the match industry, but also a nod to his regal presence in the business world. Always impeccably dressed and exuding confidence, Kreuger was a figure who commanded respect and admiration. His ability to navigate the complexities of international business with ease made him a legend in his own time. He was incredibly wealthy, one of the richest men in the world. His wealth was evident in his opulent lifestyle. Kreuger owned luxurious mansions, drove the finest cars, and hosted lavish parties that were the talk of the town. His homes were filled with art and antiques, reflecting his refined taste and the immense fortune he had amassed. This wealth gave him the power to influence and shape the world around him. He used his wealth to buy influence. He donated to charities. Kreuger understood the power of philanthropy and used it to his advantage. By supporting various charitable causes, he not only helped those in need, but also built a positive public image. His donations funded schools, hospitals, and other community projects, earning him goodwill and loyalty from people across the globe. He rubbed shoulders with politicians and celebrities. Kreuger's social circle was a who's who of the elite. He was often seen at high-profile events, mingling with influential figures from the worlds of politics, entertainment, and business. These connections further solidified his status as a powerful and influential figure, allowing him to navigate the corridors of power with ease. Kreuger was a celebrity himself. His fame extended beyond the business world. He was a household name, recognized and admired by people from all walks of life. The media followed his every move, and his appearances at public events were always a spectacle. Kreuger's charisma and larger-than-life persona made him a captivating figure, and his story was one that fascinated the masses. He was on the cover of Time magazine. This was a testament to his influence and the impact he had on the world. Being featured on the cover of such a prestigious publication was a recognition of his achievements and his status as a global icon. It was a moment of pride and a symbol of his success. He was praised for his business acumen. He seemed unstoppable. Kreuger's ability to build and sustain such a vast empire was a testament to his intelligence, determination, and strategic thinking. He was celebrated as a visionary, a man who could see opportunities where others saw obstacles. His story is one of ambition, success, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Section 7. Cracks in the facade, the coming of the Great Depression. The good times wouldn't last. In 1929, the stock market crashed. The world was plunged into the Great Depression. This was a disaster for Kreuger. His empire was built on debt. And now no one wanted to lend him money. His creditors were getting nervous. They wanted their money back. Kreuger tried to hold on. He sold assets. He borrowed even more money, but it was too late. The writing was on the wall. Section 8, the Match King's final gambit, a desperate attempt to salvage an empire. In a desperate attempt to save his empire, Kreuger came up with a plan. He would forge Italian government bonds. He would use these bonds as collateral for new loans. It was a risky plan, but Kreuger was desperate. He thought he could get away with it. He was wrong. The forgery was discovered. Kreuger's world came crashing down. His reputation was ruined. Investors lost confidence. His creditors demanded their money. Kreuger's empire was finished. Section 9. Legacy of a fallen giant, Ivar Kroeger's enduring impact. Ivar Kroeger, often referred to as the Match King, was a Swedish civil engineer, financier, entrepreneur and industrialist. He was a man of immense ambition and vision who built a global matchstick empire that spanned continents and influenced economies. His story is one of meteoric rise and catastrophic fall, a tale that continues to resonate through the annals of financial history. In 1932, Ivar Kroeger was found dead in his Paris apartment. He had shot himself. The news of his death was as shocking as it was tragic. Kreuger, who had once been hailed as a financial genius, was now the subject of scandal and speculation. His death marked the end of an era, but it also opened the floodgates to a series of investigations that would reveal the true extent of his financial dealings. The Match King was no more. His empire, which had been built on a complex web of loans, investments, and financial instruments, began to unravel. Factories that once buzzed with activity fell silent, and the matchsticks that had symbolized his success became relics of a bygone era. Kreuger's business practices, once admired, were now scrutinized and criticized. His death sent shockwaves through the world. Kreuger's empire collapsed. The stock markets, already fragile from the Great Depression, were further destabilized by the revelations of Kreuger's financial mismanagement. Newspapers around the globe carried headlines about the fall of the Match King, and the public's trust in financial institutions was severely shaken. It was one of the biggest financial scandals in history. Investors lost millions. Governments were left reeling. The ripple effects of Kreuger's downfall were felt far and wide. Investors who had once flocked to Kreuger's bonds and stocks found themselves facing enormous losses. Governments, which had relied on Kreuger's loans to stabilize their economies, were now grappling with the fallout. Kreuger's story is a cautionary tale. It serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the perils of financial overreach. His life and legacy are studied in business schools and financial institutions as a case study in both innovation and hubris. Kreuger's ability to manipulate markets and create a facade of success is a lesson in the importance of transparency and regulation. A reminder that even the most successful empires can crumble. Kreuger's empire, which once seemed invincible, was built on a foundation of debt and deception. When the truth came to light, it all came crashing down. The ruins of his empire stand as a testament to the fragility of financial success and the consequences of unethical practices. It's a story about ambition, greed, and the perils of debt. Remember the name, Ivar Kroeger. His life is a complex tapestry of brilliance and folly, a narrative that continues to captivate and caution. Kreuger's legacy is a powerful reminder of the thin line between success and failure, and the enduring impact one individual can have on the world. The Match King who went up in smoke. His story is a poignant chapter in the history of finance, a tale of a man who reached for the stars but ultimately fell to earth. Kreuger's life and legacy continue to be a source of fascination and a sobering lesson in the complexities of human ambition and the volatile nature of financial markets.